Welcome to this presentation on the use of the SUE valve seat grinder. This versatile machine will allow you to grind the valve seat with the accuracy needed to restore cylinder head performance. Before we begin, it is important to mention safety precautions that must be taken when using this machine. Always wear eye protection. Keep the machine and the immediate work area clean and uncluttered. Keep your hands clear of spinning grinding stones. Maintaining a safe working environment to protect yourself and others is always a top priority. Be sure you are comfortable with the safety of your space and equipment before beginning any work. We will now demonstrate the operating features and proper procedure for seat grinding on this SUE product. Choosing the stone. Seat grinding stones come in different angles and diameters. The collection of stones used in our shop come in 5 different angles: 15, 30, 45, 46, and 60 degrees. They also come in different diameters, ranging from 1 1/4 inches up to 2 1/4 inches. First, we will choose a stone from our cabinet that matches the valve seat angle and valve head diameter. The valve seat angle specifications can be found in the information service, while the stone diameter is simply matched to the diameter of the valve head. In this case, we are choosing a 45-degree stone that is 1 3/4 inches in diameter. Next, screw the stone onto the stone holder, hand tight. Checking to see if the stone is correct. Before grinding the seat, the valve guide must be ready to be put into service. That is, it must be cleaned and inspected. If the valve guide diameter is within specifications, you are ready to grind the seat. If the valve guide diameter is too large, it must be serviced. Knurling or replacement of the guide are your 2 options. Once it is determined that the guide is ready for service, choose a guide pilot based on the valve guide diameter. Put the cylinder head on headstands. Insert the pilot from the combustion chamber side into the guide. Using a T-handle, push in and turn the pilot clockwise. Drop a lifting spring over the pilot. Drop the stone and stone holder assembly over the pilot. Push the stone holder down. This compresses the lifting spring, causing the stone to make contact. Check to see if the side of the stone clears the side of the combustion chamber. Stone contact should be made on the seat, not the side of the combustion chamber. If the stone touches the side of the combustion chamber, replace the stone with a slightly smaller one that has the same angle. Setting up the dressing tool. The face of the stone, that is, the surface of the stone that will grind the seat, must be dressed in order to maintain accurate grinds on the seat. In this case, the 45-degree face of the stone will be dressed. A dressing tool is needed to perform this job. In order to set up the stone for accurate dressing, you must first make 4 rough adjustments on the dressing tool. Here is a dressing tool that has the 4 adjustments properly set. Note that the diamond just passes by the stone at the proper angle. Also note that the stone holder spins with little friction as it rotates on the dressing tool spindle. You're now ready to make the 4 rough adjustments. First, adjust the proper height for the stone holder. Loosen the Allen bolt. And position the shaft so that the stone does not rub on the red housing of the dressing tool. The stone holder should spin free when placed over the spindle and spun by hand. Tighten the Allen bolt. Adjust the diamond holder so that no more than 3/8 of an inch is protruding past the swing arm of the dressing tool. Keeping the protruding part of the diamond holder to a minimum reduces unwanted vibrations. Adjust the seat angle by loosening the lever and setting the arm to the desired angle. In this case, it is 45 degrees. Tighten the lever. Finally, loosen the thumb wheel and slide the swing arm until the diamond is 1/16 of an inch away from the stone. Tighten the thumb wheel. The dressing tool is all set to true the 1 3/4 inch diameter 45-degree stone that we selected to grind all the intake seats. You will have to readjust the dressing tool to accommodate the different sized exhaust stones. You will do the same for the topping and throating stones. If a stone has deep recessed threads, a sleeve must be placed over the spindle of the dressing tool before dropping the stone and stone holder assembly over the spindle. The exhaust stone used on this head is an example of a stone that has recessed threads and therefore needs a sleeve. Using the sleeve will prevent the recessed stone from damaging the dressing tool's housing and spindle. Dressing the stone. Now you are ready to dress the stone. Apply a drop of oil on top of the dressing tool's spindle. Place the stone and stone holder assembly over the spindle. Pick up the drive motor and engage its drive gear into the drive socket found on top of the stone holder. Steady the drive motor with your trigger hand and pull the trigger. With the drive motor at full speed, move the dressing tool's swing arm with your wrist and bring the diamond to the center of the stone. With your fingers, adjust the diamond so that it just makes contact with the stone. Move the swing arm so that the diamond traverses the face of the stone. With the diamond off the stone, turn the diamond adjuster in 1/32 of a turn. Again, move the swing arm so that the diamond traverses the face of the stone. Take your finger off the drive motor trigger. Let the stone holder come to a complete stop. Disengage the drive motor from the stone holder socket and put the drive motor down on the bench. Lift the stone holder off the dressing tool spindle and inspect the dress surface of the stone. There should be a fresh ground area left on the face of the stone all the way around and top to bottom. If not, repeat the process until the face of the stone is completely dressed. Grinding the seat. Now that the stone is dressed, you can begin grinding the seat. Make sure the pilot and lifting spring is properly installed. Next, place a drop of oil on top of the pilot. Install the 45-degree stone, which is screwed onto the stone holder, over the pilot. Pick up the drive motor and engage its drive gear into the drive socket found on top of the stone holder. Steady the drive motor with your trigger hand and place your other hand on the body of the drive motor. Pull the trigger and allow the drive motor to come up to maximum RPM. Note that the stone is not touching the seat at this time because of the lifting spring. With your hand on the body of the motor drive, push down. This allows the spinning stone to make contact with the seat. Make sure this contact only lasts for 1 second. Lift your hand off the drive motor. The lifting spring will raise the stone off the seat. Release the drive motor trigger. Once the stone holder comes to a stop, disengage the motor drive and place it on the bench. Remove the stone holder. Inspect the seat. What you would like to see is a continuous grind all the way around the seat with no imperfections, like pitting. If there are imperfections in the seat, or if the grind is not continuous, repeat the grinding process. It is important to understand that the goal is to take off a minimal amount of seat material when grinding. Going back and grinding a second time to get the results you want is preferred over one long grind. After successfully grinding the 45-degree angle on the seat, you need to measure the contact relationship between the valve face and the seat. What you would like to see is the seat making contact at the center or slightly higher than center on the valve face. When we say higher, we mean closer to the combustion chamber side of the valve. To measure this contact, first remove the pilot and lifting spring. Grab the valve that will be put into service in this seat's guide. This valve may either be a new one or it will be the original valve that has been measured for proper stem thickness and has been successfully ground on the valve grinder. With a marker, color the entire face of the valve. Install the valve in the guide and turn the valve 90 degrees while held on its seat with your fingers. Remove the valve from the guide and inspect the face of the valve to see where contact is being made. The contact is where the marker has been removed. Remember, what you would like to see is the seat making contact at the center or slightly higher than center on the valve face. When we say higher, we mean closer to the combustion chamber side of the valve. Once contact location is okay, measure the width of the contact on the valve face with a steel ruler. Again, this is the width of the area where the marker was removed. Compare your measurement to the seat width specifications. If the spec is 1/32 of an inch and the measurement is 1/64 of an inch, the contact width is too narrow. Having too narrow of a contact width will not allow heat to flow out of the valve into the seat and into the cooling system. The life of the valve will be decreased. So if the width is too narrow, the seat needs to be ground again with a 45-degree stone in order to widen the contact area. Be careful not to grind too long. That would result in a contact area that is too wide. 3 angles, topping and throating. So far we have talked about how to restore the seating angle, in this case 45 degrees. Now let's talk about 2 other angles that can be used while grinding seats. The first is a topping angle that can be ground above and adjacent to the seat angle. In this case, the topping angle would be 30 degrees. The second new angle is the throating angle. Throating is ground adjacent to and below the seat angle. In this case, it would be 60 degrees. By using these 2 new angles, we can narrow a seat that is making too wide of a contact with the valve face. We could also use the 30 and 60 degree stones to lower and raise the seat contact on the valve. By using all 3 angles, topping, seat angle, and throating, we also provide a progressive, smooth passageway for the air or fuel and air to travel through the head. Note that the 3 angles used in this case, 30, 45, and 60, are ground on the seat. The valve is ground with only 1 angle. In this case, it is 45 degrees. Let's begin a 3-angle seat grind. We will need 2 more stone holders. We will need a 30-degree stone to complement the 45-degree seat stone for topping, and we will need a 60-degree stone to complement the 45-degree seat stone for throating. Choose the stone diameter using the procedure described earlier. Screw the stones onto the stone holders. Using the techniques described earlier, dress the stone. Using the techniques described earlier when grinding the 45-degree seat angle, top the seat using a 30-degree stone. Set the drive motor on the bench and remove the stone holder. Inspect the seat. What you would like to see is the 30-degree angle meeting the 45-degree angle and forming an edge where they come together. You would also like the 30-degree grind to be complete with no voids. Using the techniques described earlier, throat the seat using the 60-degree stone. 60-degree stones are fast cutting stones. Be careful not to overgrind. Set the drive motor on the bench and remove the stone holder. Inspect the seat. What you would like to see is the 60-degree angle meeting the 45-degree angle and forming an edge where they come together. You would also like the 60-degree grind complete with no voids. Recheck the seat width and contact location using the marker and a steel ruler. If location is good, but the seat width is too narrow, grind with a 45-degree stone. This will increase seat width without changing the seat to valve location. If, after checking contact location and seat width, you find the seat contact is too high, that is, too close to the combustion chamber, and the seat contact is too wide, use a 30-degree topping stone to lower and narrow the contact. If, after checking contact location and seat width, you find that the seat contact is too low, that is, too far from the combustion chamber, and the seat contact is too wide, use a 60-degree throating stone to raise and narrow the contact. You have now successfully completed the entire seat grinding process using the SUE seat grinder. Before using the machine, be certain you are familiar and comfortable with the correct procedures for dressing stones and grinding all 3 seat angles. If anything is unclear, please review that portion of the presentation and refer to this video whenever you have questions about the proper use of this equipment. It's also a good idea to view this presentation as a training refresher from time to time. Above all, remember to always work safe.